Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marissa Laughlin. I'm a holistic nutritionist and I love to talk about all things health wellness. Ladies, this video is for you. Specifically menstruating women, because I'm going to be talking about hormonal imbalances and menstrual cycles. If you're a male watching this, you can continue to watch. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two. Maybe you can get one of these products to help support your significant other during their cycle. But we're going to be talking a lot about hormones. So very, very quick backstory about hormones. I've been suffering with some hormonal imbalances for far too long. My main hormonal imbalance symptoms are night sweats and hot flashes. And in the last year, they have been unbearable to the point where I can no longer navigate them myself, and I'm working with a naturopath to help me get to the root cause. That's a topic for an entire other video, but on top of those hormonal imbalance symptoms of night sweats and hot flashes, over the last few months, I've had more symptoms arise that I'm not necessarily used to, and I've had to rely on some products to help me get through those first few days of my cycle because it's been not amazing. A lot of common symptoms that women unfortunately have to deal with during their period is bloating, PMS, cramping, irritability, abdominal pain, fatigue, all of that. Ladies, these symptoms might be common, but they are not normal. Okay, we go month after month after month thinking that these are just part of the process. They're not. They are not part of the process. Again, I'm not going to go too far into that because it's very unique to each individual depending on what the root cause of that might be. But I just want to state it's not normal. For myself, in the last couple months, I started to notice around day 1, day 2 of my cycle, I have just been feeling like complete shit. Bloating, menstrual cramping, severe menstrual cramping. I've never dealt with menstrual cramping, but the last few months have just been unbelievable. Part of the reason that I know I am at this place of these hormonal imbalances is my level of stress. So during the last few months, I've been working really hard to be gentle with myself, which is so hard for me to do. It is so hard for me to slow down. It's hard for me just to rest. It's hard for me to get out of routine. And it's hard for me not to be in a A-type learning go personality routine. But I've been really intentional with trying to prioritize some things in my wellness routine to help reflect being able to slow down and just be patient and calm with myself. So there's a couple products that reflect that, and then there's a couple products that I just think are really important to help support hormonal imbalances in general, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So first up, undeniably the most essential thing when you are on your period: chocolate. No doubt about it. If anyone tells you this is not essential, kick them to the curb. But I am a nutritionist, so I obviously want to have the priority of clean, natural, healthy products and also enjoy a treat as well. I want the balance. So I think chocolate is really, really great because we know around our cycle of we are starting our period, we have more cravings. So instead of reaching for shitty Cadbury or Hershey or ice cream, things like that that are going to be full of sugar and have more of a negative impact, pick the better option. And this chocolate right here checks every box for me. So this is a company from the States, and I first saw them on Shut the Kale Up's Instagram. Her name is Jeanette Ogden, I'm not sure her last name is, but she has done a lot of partnerships with Hugh, and I've seen her talk a lot about them. She's actually someone that I do respect her opinions and sharing her different feedback. She's very well known in the wellness industry in the States, so I really appreciate what she has to say. I love her philosophy around food and fitness and all things like that. So anyways, that's where I first heard about this. So it's a US company, and if you don't know this about US companies, unless they have bilingual packaging, they can't come to Canada. That's like a standard for Canadian products, is they have to have both English and French on it. And if it's a small company, they might not be willing to invest in bilingual packaging. But Hugh finally did, which means they are finally available in Canada. And when I saw them available, I told the Joanne's Place food purchaser, Sarah, we needed them. We absolutely needed them because this is by far the best chocolate I have ever had. And there's a lot of top contestants. I love Zazu Bean, I love Evolve, I love Giddy Yo-Yo. There's so many good ones, but this tops it. A few reasons why. No refined sugar, okay? There's no cane sugar in here as well, which is another thing I really try to reduce my intake of, and I think most people should. It's still another source of sugar. There's no sugar alcohols. This is huge. We're seeing sugar alcohols pop up in so many products that are keto based. If you suffer with GI issues or liver imbalances, these sugar alcohols can impact that. No erythritol. Erythritol is being put in everything. It can either come from corn or birch bark. Erythritol is a feeder of gut bacteria. It will bloat people up like crazy. So erythritol is not a good one in my eyes. Okay, there's no dairy, there's no soy, which is amazing, no palm oil, no lecithins, which means there's no fillers and there's no oils in here. And there's no vanilla extract. They use the full vanilla bean. Okay, they get the good stuff. It's also organic, which is really important to me, and it's fair trade, which is even more important to me. Fair trade is a certification that makes sure the standard and the working conditions of the people harvesting the cacao or whatever they're harvesting is fair and safe and healthy. So whoever is in that industry is being paid fairly, has good working conditions, is taken care of, has some type of maybe medical coverage. This is really important because in certain areas of the world where we get ingredients like cacao, it's not always the most environmentally friendly for the workers, but there's a lot of companies that are willing to invest money in those harvesting areas so that there is fair workplace, fair pay for those workers so that they can create these products. So I think that's amazing. They actually use coconut sugar to sweeten their chocolate, which is also fair trade. There's no wheat in them. They're non-GMO. They're paleo, as I mentioned, and vegan. So these are absolutely amazing ingredients. Organic cacao, organic unrefined coconut sugar, which is important, which means unrefined, it's not heated, it's not changed in any which way. It is just extracted from the coconut sap and dried. There's organic cashews in here, organic cacao butter, and organic vanilla bean and sea salt. Now there's a couple different flavors. That's the cashew butter and vanilla bean. This was amazing. This is my favorite flavor. Also, the hazelnut is right next to it. I love anything hazelnut, but this is unbelievable. Again, the hazelnuts were organic, cacao is organic. We've got cacao butter and unrefined coconut sugar as well. These are honestly, undeniably the best chocolate I've ever had. Although this is like a dark cacao, it's 70%. It's not a bitter cacao at all. It's very smooth. I honestly think it's more of like a milk chocolate because it's just so smooth and melts so well in the mouth. So 10 out of 10 for these chocolate bars. I will say they are a little bit on the more expensive side. I think they're $6.50 for a bar. So that's the first thing, okay? Second thing I want to talk about is the Diva Cup. The Diva Cup. This is not a new product by any means, but there are some people who may have no idea about the Diva Cup. Okay, so there are so many reasons why I love the Diva Cup, but just a quick backstory about my history on why I started to use this. So it was when I was in nutrition school, I was learning about how many chemicals were in conventional tampons and the process in making conventional tampons. And if you aren't aware, if you are using Sportex, I don't even know what the names are. Playtech? I don't even know what they're called. I don't even know any of the brand names. Kotex? I'm just putting X at the end of every type of name. Whatever. If you go to Shoppers and you buy the ones with the plastic applicator, they are chemically bleached. So there's bleach in there, there's chlorine in there. It's not organic cotton, so there's lots of types of pesticides and herbicides that are sprayed on it. And there could be other components during manufacturing like heavy metals that are in tampons. And there's actually been a lot of research done around this in women who are suffering with infertility, bacterial infections, UTIs, vaginosis. So many different health concerns could be based on the types of feminine products they're using. So when I was learning about how many harmful things were in tampons that literally go in an area that is so sensitive, I immediately stopped using them. And someone had told me about the Diva Cup, and it was also when I had first started working at Joanne's Place, and people were like, I swear by it, it's amazing, blah, 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 blah. And more I saw women coming in and buying the Diva Cup, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. So let me tell you, the first 3 months of trying this was absolutely terrifying, because every time I thought, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital and get this removed. But once you get the hang of it and you get used to the feel of it, it is a lifesaver. People panic because of how to get it in and then also how to get it out. But I promise you, once you figure it out in your own body on where it sits, it is a breeze and so easy. Why I love this so much is because it reduces the amount of leakage. And also, if you're someone who drinks a lot of liquids like me, you're going to the washroom literally every hour, there's not a whole issue of changing your pad or changing your tampon and doing all of that while you're going to the washroom. It's just go to the washroom, don't have to worry about it. You just kind of forget you're on your period. So if you're worried about how to use it, there's a whole book on how to use it. It's very easy though. This is the cup. You fold it in half. Up she goes. When she goes, it opens. Not that hard, but it opens. And then when it's time to come out, you just apply a little pressure here and it slides right out. So once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to use, but there's also the other aspect of the environmental component to it. So there are so many microplastics in tampon applicators, like I just said. If you're not using ones that are organic cotton or have a paper applicator, there is so much waste involved in those. And if you think about how many tampons you go through, it's a lot. So huge environmental impact by going with something like this. They say to replace it once a year, but honestly, I've gone longer than once a year. The only thing that really I noticed over going longer was it does change in color a little bit. It just naturally has a darker hue to it, which who the heck cares? So easy. It comes in this little travel packet. When you're not using it, you just put it in there, store it. The way you wash it, there is a wash you can get by Diva Cup, but I just use an unscented plain soap, and then you can sterilize it by boiling it in a pot of water on the stove. So anyways, super easy to use. Although this has been a staple for me over the last 8 years, I just think it's really important when we're talking about hormonal imbalances to look at what is being put in our body and what does it contain. And I think tampons are a really big hazard for women's health, and there's not enough people talking about that. So that's what I'm here to do. Switch over to the Diva Cup. If you're not gonna go to the Diva Cup, I know there's a lot of women who still use pads out there, and I'm also that person as well too. I'm gonna show you a really cool product in just a second. But if you are going the route of choosing pads or tampons still, just look for the better options. There are a lot of great companies that are not using chlorine or perfume, and they don't have plastic in them as well. So the NutriCare is probably my favorite brand. You can buy this at the Joanne's Place. These are just mini liners I like to use on like my last day of my period or the first day, or if I feel like I'm spotting. But there's also like full-size ones you can use as well. The long, short, thong version, maxi, all those things. But as I said, the NutriCare Healthier by Nature does not use the plastics, the perfumes, and they are chlorine and dye free, which is amazing, and it's organic. So if you are using those, just look for a better option because there are definitely ones that are available. Okay, now the other thing I want to talk about in terms of periods, this is actually not a product that's available at Joanne's Place, but I was very late to the game on this, and I like game changer, absolute game changer. Okay, Knix period panties. Okay, this is the best purchase. I bought these, I think, on Boxing Day. These are the best investment I have ever made. These are amazing. They are the ultra high rise, so they go really high, but they are the leak-proof panties, and these are so comfy. They sit absolutely perfect on your hips, which I think for people who are struggling with some hormonal imbalances and experiencing cramping and bloating, it's annoying. It's annoying when your underwear is slipping down or riding up or like going up your back. It's annoying. So finding a comfortable pair of underwear is just unbelievable. Ladies, listen up. The reason I love these so much is because the part that goes in between your legs is wide. Okay, I don't want this to be too much information, but if you know exactly what I'm talking about right now, this is wide enough that you're not getting a freaking camel toe or a wedgie. Like, I don't know if that's too much information, I'm gonna tell you anyways. These just sit so perfectly, and then when they come up the bum, they don't slip. Like, they hug underneath the bum cheeks, just absolutely perfect, okay? So, I'm not gonna give you any more personal detail there, but I'm just gonna say, I was late to the game on the Knix, but these are the best underwear that I've ever purchased. And I did buy them specifically for the fact that they are leak proof. So I mostly got these for in the evening, and I just feel very protected and comfortable in these while I am menstruating. So if you've never used Knix, I definitely recommend them. There are 3 different types of leak proof ones: the light, the regular, and then there's like an extra one. I just got the regular. For me personally, that works great, but you could get a set of all of them as well. They're expensive, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think each pair is $27, but they were 100% worth the investment. Very easy to wash. They come with a little delicate bag, beautiful colors, and my only thing I will say is I got the extra high rise, which I love for the night, but if you are someone who's gonna wear them through the daytime, just get the regular, only because these do go up really high. I also was a little hesitant in terms of size. I'm typically a size 10 in pants, sometimes 12, but it just depends where I'm getting them from. But I went with the large based on the thing. I wish I had gone medium, and I have a big booty, so thought I should size up, and I wish I didn't. So anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about Knix. I just told you a lot of personal things about my health down there, but these are amazing and I highly recommend them. Okay, next thing I'm gonna talk about is Epsom salts. So we all know adding salts to the bath, really good for relaxing, really calming, but there's a specific one that I found that has been really, really helpful with cramping, and it's Ancient Minerals Magnesium Salt. So these ones in particular are a little bit higher in magnesium compared to a traditional Epsom salt. They come in a blue bag. They're available at Joann's Place, the small bag or the large bag, but they are like flakes of magnesium. I am like just about out. I just have a little bit left in the bottom of there. So I'll put a picture of the bag right here so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But these I found really helped with the cramping. So, you know, if you follow me on any social media, I have a bath at least 4 times a week. But when I'm on my period, I have a bath sometimes twice a day, because it really does help bring down my stress level, and it really does help with the cramping with the addition of the magnesium salt. And the reason why is because magnesium is a natural relaxant. So the magnesium from the salt is going to help to release some of the cramping and just create more of a relaxed environment in that area for you. So warm bath with magnesium salt really does help with the cramping, in particular, again, this bag of the magnesium salt. And then the last thing is also not a product that's at Joann's Place, but as I mentioned, it's really hard for me to bring it down a notch. It's really hard for me not to be like reading or learning something or like teaching something, which I love. Like, that's my job. I love that so much that it's so hard to turn off. But one thing that's helped me kind of shut that off is to read for pleasure rather than education purposes. So, like everyone else, I started reading Colleen Hoover. My first book by her I read was It Ends With Us, and let me tell you, I'm obsessed, okay? I love that book. I loved Ugly Love. I loved Verity. Very many people I know did, but that book was fire. Confess, that was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I just recently finished a book by her called November 9th. This is probably my favorite book by her. This storyline was just a love that I just have never read before. Like, there's so many different love stories that are similar, have different outcomes, but this just, I loved it. I loved it so much. So while I was having my baths, or while I was sitting on the couch in pain during my cycle this past month, this baby was what I was watching. And let me tell you, it's easy to be on your phone in the bath watching TikToks or Instagram, but I purposely left this on the table and I took this book to the bath, and within the week I was done this book. And I think if you're someone who can like sit and just read and read and read, you'd finish this probably in a day. I think one of my sisters finished this in a day. So anyways, reading for pleasure. Hard to do. It's never really been my thing, but since I've just been really trying to dial it back, I've decided that this is a way in which I can do that by getting away from my phone and actually having a physical book, or having my iPad where I have like the book in the books, in books app. Is that what it's called? Book apps, whatever it's called. On my iPad, I will just take that puppy, I will sit, I will relax, I will break down my stress level, and I will just read love stories. And this one was seriously one of the best Colleen Hoover books I've ever read. Not that I've read a whole lot, but this storyline, it's like, without ruining it, basically two people meet on November 9th, every November 9th for 5 years, and their relationship evolves over 5 years, but they have no contact in between those 5 years. They just meet once a year, and it's just amazing. So 10 out of 10, I really recommend that. So that's it. These are my top 5 wellness products that I've become best friends with over the last month to support my hormone health. My battery's about to die, so I'm gonna end this here. I will leave the description of all these products in the description below. If you have any questions, or if you have any other go-to products that support you along your menstruating cycle that maybe could help me, drop them in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a notification when another video is released, and be sure to like this video if it's something that you want to see again next month. Anyways, that's it, that's all. Thank you for watching this video today, and I'll see you in my next one.
I'm somewhere in the middle, try to find